Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to the Coast to Coast podcast, where today we've got a special episode. But first, some small talk. How are we doing, boys? Fellow Earthlings.
We are doing quite good over here on the Coast to Coast podcast in Kansas. It's been fucking horrible weather-wise because over the past week we had like a whole dust storm and it was miserable. And then now we're in the phase or like the season where when you wake up it's cold as shit, but by the time you go to bed it's super hot. And so it's just miserable.
Yeah, that is tough. Spring weather's really confusing, and I feel like a lot of the regions and whatnot. Like, 1 week in Fresno we'll have like mid 80s and just blazing sun, and then the next week we'll have 65, breezy and wet. Maybe it rains 2 days of the week or something. So it's very peculiar. But there's another way that you can always tell that it's springtime weather. And maybe I don't know if you guys have the mosquito hawks or little crane flies is what they're actually called, flying about during this time of year. But I had one fall on my head as I was sleeping a few nights ago. And
Oh, that's
like
just lovely.
I was like half asleep, so I wasn't fully out yet. And I just feel something, like I'm laying on the side and I just feel something fall on the side of my head, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I start shaking about and trying to slap myself to get the bug, because I'm like, oh my god, is this like a goddamn spider? Like, I'm arachnophobic. Like, I could not have handled that. I might have died if that thing was a spider. So I flung.
Yeah, it was Aragog.
yeah, I flung it off my face. It smacked on the wall. I killed it. Sorry, but I killed it. I committed a murder, guys. But yeah, it was just a little.
It's okay. They have a 20-minute lifetime.
Yeah, they actually have a very short lifespan. It's like 5 or 10 days, on average. Yeah. So that was a fun little creepy thing that happened to me.
Dude, it's funny that you mentioned that you had something bad happen in sleep, because last night I went to bed late, but like about 30 minutes after I fell asleep, I woke up panicking because I didn't realize that it was going to hail last night, and out of nowhere there was just this really loud crack against my window,
Oh.
and I just started freaking. I freaked the fuck out because like this is my first time living on my own, and I've only been living on my own for like 3 months. And so I thought someone was in my apartment, and I was like freaking the fuck out. I was so scared. And for like 30 seconds. And then you kind of like wake up and you process everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, God, that's fuck hell.
Yeah.
You see, joke's on you guys, because
Bro lives in Florida.
the way I sleep, I counter both of you guys. Okay, because one, I always cover my whole body with a blanket, my head, everything. Okay. That's if I'm
That's
sleeping by myself.
psychopath behavior.
Yeah, that's if I'm sleeping
That's
by myself.
psychopath.
I cover myself entirely. It's comfy. It's great. Nothing hits my head. It's beautiful. And as for you, Jacob, you see, I have this little headband, right? Two things. First, I sleep with music on this little headband that I have.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It-
the music bands
it's
with
a
the
headphone.
earbuds in them, right?
Oh, yeah, you were telling us about that.
Yep. Yeah. One of the best purchases I've ever made. And two, I can't wake up once I sleep. Like, it's super hard to wake me up once I sleep, which is a bad thing. Because if somebody actually invaded my apartment, I wouldn't know. Okay. So I hope no viewers watching this have any malintent.
I know, right? Thank God we
Luckily,
haven't given up our addresses yet,
yeah. Not that it's hard to find out my address, really, but yeah. Don't invade my house, guys. Please.
So-
I won't invade, dude. I'll just get invited over for Thanksgiving and chill in your room, bro.
There you go.
This is
Sweet callback,
well,
too.
you didn't just change your hat. You changed your whole headband. Like, is this a change of topic? Like, what is that?
No. It's not a change the topic thing. It's just I forgot that I'm not supposed to wear hats because it messes with the lighting in my face because it's just like a camera issue. And so I
So
switched to the
now
headband
it's a
'cause you-
change. Now it's a change a headband thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, except all my headbands are in my car, so I won't be able to change them.
Well, I mean, you can take it off and put it back on, kind of thing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll turn it around so you know.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all
I
right.
can tell. I can tell by the slight, subtle difference in shading, which side of your head's been sweating the most so far this show.
Yeah, yeah, it's glistening.
Yeah.
So as for small talk, I have two things that's been going on with me lately. Right, first is sports. Um, Marlins been making me very happy. I'm not sure how long it's gonna last, but we move.
Bro
Um,
casually has the most entertaining team to be a fan of.
I swear to God, and NHL playoffs are around the corner. Obviously excited for that. Panthers are looking ready for it. Some down
The
games
Sharks are
lately,
going to
Yeah, the
be in it,
Penguins are
really
right?
gonna
ready
take
for it.
home the cup.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
obviously, he was what in a 5-game win streak, 6-game win streak. They just beat Boston, and NFL draft season. Right, super excited for that,
yeah.
obviously. But and I want to share this with you guys. Maybe we have a crazy dentist out here who listens to this, and maybe I have a genius idea, and they steal this idea and make loads of money off of it. But I would like to share this here because I was thinking about it the other day. So, as you guys know, I went to Mission of Mercy, the volunteering event, yada yada, right? And I was in the pediatric section, taking, assisting, not assisting directly the dentist, but I was there like with supplies and shit in the pediatric section. And I saw a lot of kids like struggle. Obviously, I know pediatric dentistry is a rough field. No surprises there. But
Yeah.
and I was thinking of ways, right? How can these kids have a more comforting experience?
Blunt force trauma to the head. Knock him out.
True.
No, no.
Quickest, easiest way, you know? you you admit them to the
There,
hospital
well,
right
yeah,
after.
there will be a certain, some mortality rate maybe, but we can brush that aside, right? We can brush that aside.
And
Yeah.
and if you fuck up their teeth with the club, they'll have to spend more money there.
More
It's
money, perfect. Okay, so it's forget about my idea, okay? Just write it off, but I will still present it just for the sake of it, okay?
uh
And I was thinking to myself, how do I make a more comforting experience for a kid in a dentistry chair, right?
you bring
So I
in
was
P
thinking about,
Diddy.
Oh my god.
I thought about it. I thought about it. I thought about P Diddy, but it does have some complications. First off, it's really hard to get him there, right? He is in jail,
Yeah.
okay?
He only has
Two
like 1
thousand
hour
bottles of
visit
baby
time.
oil.
Yeah, get
God.
the baby oil.
Oh god.
Do you think he's gonna move on to baby formula next, or he's gonna stay with baby oil?
You know,
What do you think?
I maybe the formula.
I
You
don't
know,
think it'll
that's something
be
that can be
formula.
snorted as well, if he's into something
I
like
think
Yeah,
it'll
that.
be
there
the
you go,
baby
exactly.
powder. You know, like what they spray in the diaper, or like they shake in the diaper.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
almost like the Snow White.
it's like
Yeah,
something
you know that's what I'm saying.
Bro,
Okay.
the interviews I'm seeing of Snow White and everyone's just like, you didn't give our movie a chance because you're this or you're that and this and that. Like, no, just you made a shit movie.
So real quick, I do want
Just
to
because, like,
talk a little bit about that, but I do want to hear Rufy's ideas. So we'll get right to that. But Rufy, go
yeah,
ahead first.
very quickly. I thought about why don't I make a little device? Okay, you guys know how when a dentist works, they use the paddle to maneuver the drill,
Yeah.
correct? There's a paddle
correct.
that they step on to maneuver the drill.
Right.
What if I give them a replication of this paddle? Right? It could be like a plushie. It could be something squishy. I don't know what the fuck. Right? Some kids might need it. Some kids might not. Some kids are very chill. Right? But then they press the fucking pedal with their hands, right, to indicate me when they're ready to be drilled on, right? Because I think the main reason why kids hate dentistry is having that drill in their mouth all the time, right?
Sure.
But if they're anticipating it and they're physically demonstrating it, I think it helps out the both of us. I don't know. It made sense in my head. Maybe it's a shit idea. Maybe it's been tried
So
out.
I think
I don't know.
actually,
But in my head, it made sense.
I think the idea is cool. I think maybe the thing though is that they press it when they are distressed, right? So there are a lot of
Yep.
other instances where people use like a plushy toy or a stuffed animal or whatever as some type of stress reliever, and to squeeze it, that you're squeezing
Yeah.
it in order to reduce stress. And so maybe that would be a
Yeah.
thing. Like, I'm feeling stressed, I need to squeeze this button, and then you can pause until they're comfortable again. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, good idea, but flip it around. You know what I mean?
See, I think that could be an issue too, though, because then if you're more comfortable squeezing while they do it, is backwards.
I mean, it depends on the application, how the kids understand it. Like, I could explain to them. I gotta let them know ahead of time. Like, this is what I use. Or, like, when you press it, then it's gonna work. So, something along the lines, maybe it could be some research behind it. How to conduct it, some testing. Maybe it's backwards. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe some kids
You
understand the
could just
purpose. Maybe
ask.
some kids
You
don't,
could
and it's
just ask
backwards.
AI. It's got the answers, right?
Duh, yeah, yeah. Why do research? Research my ass. Ask
Exactly.
Grok.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah,
Grok.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I actually I will attempt to talk to a pediatric dentist that I have shadowed a few times tomorrow. Not about that, it's about another thing, but I'll try to bring it up and see what she thinks.
yeah,
Maybe,
you should.
hopefully, she doesn't steal my idea and makes millions off of it. Not that I'm saying that I have a
And
multi-millionaire
then there's gonna
idea.
be another
Okay,
movie, and you're gonna be fuck, who plays that guy? You're gonna be the
guys, I'm the
guy
new
who's
Tesla. I'm the new Tesla. I'm the
no,
new
I
Nicholas
wasn't thinking of
Tesla.
Tesla. I was thinking about Facebook. You're gonna be the
The
bitch.
social network. Yeah,
Yeah,
what I was thinking of too was when Ray Kroc swept in and changed McDonald's from the original guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ruby's gonna have a movie,
yeah.
except he's gonna be the side bitch in the movie.
Yeah, he'll be Andrew Garfield. What you should do though is, or in this meeting, you can just you could approach them beforehand before you start and just be like, "So I have this quick NDA for you to sign. If you could just sign at the bottom here, just and then you could take them to court if they steal your idea. It's a perfect thing. There's a lot of NDAs going around nowadays.
He says it like it's like, yeah, it's just like a cheeseburger. Here, sign this NDA real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
They just go around. They're everywhere.
Look, man, I keep hearing about them.
Dude, new business model. New business model. You just write up NDAs and you have like a McDonald's like sign outside, but it's just like McKay's NDAs. And underneath, instead of saying billions and billions of burgers sold, it's billions and billions of NDAs served.
Oh
Dude,
man,
I'm gonna be a millionaire. What
look,
can I
look.
say?
If P Diddy had this when his thing was going down, he might not be in jail right now. So, maybe there's a bit of a moral conundrum there too, right? Where you don't want to serve the wrong people, but you could
You're on
also
to
just serve
something.
the other people the NDAs too. Then they can't even talk about how you're serving the wrong people. Bam, problem solved. Nobody
Dude,
nobody will be allowed to talk ever again. After we've served all these NDAs to people, it'll just be the silent society now.
so real quick. I want to say something about Snow White, and it's because my girlfriend and I we go see all our movies together in theaters. That unless it's like a movie that she just doesn't want to see, then I'll see it on my own. But we were trying to pick out a movie for this week because today was my off day, and so we were gonna pick a movie for today. But nothing good is out, and she was like, "Well, we can go see Snow White. I know it's not good, but like I mean, it's basically free because we have the subscription."
Right.
And I was like, "It can be free if it can be free. They can charge me $20. I'm not gonna go because I'm not wasting 2 hours of my life on this dog shit film."
Yeah, I have very
Real.
little excitement for Snow White either, so I haven't seen it yet. If I do have a desire to watch it, I'll watch it when it comes on streaming. I just don't care. I will say, what you said about them saying, "Well, just give it a chance." That is like the worst PR that you can give any film ever. Is just give it a
hmm
chance, Just give it a chance. We know
Dude,
it's
it's the Disney
bad.
go-to right now.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing with the Marvels a few years ago, which
Mhm.
didn't flop but didn't do well either. But they were like, yeah, just give it a
They did
chance,
the same thing with
please.
Morbius.
Yeah, yeah. Although that is Sony, but you're right. Um,
Right.
yeah, I don't have a desire to watch it, but I do think also that there's a lot more controversy surrounding the whole thing that is also incredibly problematic. There's this whole do we want to get into it? It's pretty political. We don't have to if you guys don't want.
I mean, basically they were dumb and they chose a side, and when you do that, you're gonna lose a lot of
Yeah,
viewership regardless.
absolutely.
Um, I think it's also really funny how in her like his the lead actress, I can't think of her name, but
Rachel
in
Zegler.
her interview, yeah, in her interview talking about the movie, she basically spends the whole time shitting on Snow White. She thinks the original Snow White sucks because
Yeah,
it
so
depends on a man to make the story.
that was yeah, that interview took place I think honestly before she was actually cast officially. So that was a little while ago, but yeah, I don't care for Rachel Zegler. I think she can be very off-putting at times, but I think she's a fine actress,
Privileged.
and definitely way better than Gal Gadot. And that's one of the reasons I don't want to see this movie is because of Gal Gadot. She is absolutely repulsive, and like every performance she's ever given is like so terrible. She's a really awful actress. And the other thing too is now the favoritism by Disney themselves. Like Gal Gadot is Israeli, and so she's been very controversial, obviously recently in her defense of Israel during the Israel-Palestine conflict and the war. And but
Mhm.
she's been given protection, like bodyguards and shit, like to for safe passage and whatnot. But Rachel Zegler, who is under fire for not the same thing, but for other reasons and other things that she said, they're not offering her that protection, which is I think a dangerous double standard to set, which is really unfortunate. But again, just another reason to not go
Mhm.
see this movie, because it's fuck Disney, I guess. And,
Right.
they're
Um.
they're making another. They're doing another live action remake in a month or two, actually, Lilo and Stitch, and that looks really awful too, based on the trailer. Um, just lifeless cash grabs. That's really what it comes down to nowadays. And it's a shame too, because there are so many people still. Every day I see it on Twitter. Oh my God, we don't want us. We don't want this corporate garbage. We don't want to watch your stupid movie. There's no original ideas anymore.
And then that's the only movie they go and see all year.
Yeah, but they don't go see like Death of a Unicorn, which we both really liked, or they don't go see Black Bag, which we both liked, or Mickey 17, which we both loved, right? Or Novocaine, which we both enjoyed. They don't go see these original films that are made by original
That
people
are
with
fun.
fun. Yeah, it's just they're fun times at the cinema, and some of them aren't exactly why you go to the cinema, but stuff like Black Bag or Mickey 17, at least for me, those are movies that that's the reason I go to the cinema for an experience like that, and to see them fail because nobody's going to watch them is, I don't know. There are so many issues within the industry itself right now, that hopefully they get figured out.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's not looking too it's not looking too bright anyway, with the dominance of streaming services in general, which we talked about at length a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I digress.
Wait, I didn't talk about Dune on the last episode, did I?
I don't think so because we jumped right in.
No, no, you
Yeah.
didn't.
Boys, ladies and gents back home, Barufi is again the uninspired person who hasn't seen the franchise that Anthony and I are gonna rave about. First Star
Yep,
Wars, now Dune. He needs to educate himself. I watched Lord of the Rings. It only took me a couple days after hearing about how good it was that I needed to watch it.
yep.
Wasn't like a
Only a
year and a
couple of
half or
days.
anything.
Yep.
Dune and Dune 2, if I see that they're featuring in the theaters ever, I'm going to make an effort to see them. Like, for example, I'm turning 21 here in like 3 weeks. They're re-showing Revenge of the Sith because for his like 20-year anniversary, like 4 days before I turn 21. So I'm absolutely going to be at that event because it's one of those movies that changed my life. Dune and Dune 2 are both movies that change your life. And I think it's so incredible because Dune 1, there's like or not one, but just like Dune 2021. I would put that above every Middle Earth movie. I'd put that above I think every Star Wars movie. I might personally prefer some of the Star Wars movies, but I think objectively it's a better movie than all of them. It's a better movie than every Harry Potter movie to me. Um, it's genuinely just like so amazing. And Dune 2 is
Generations.
like clearly.
Notice how he didn't say Lord of the Rings.
I
He
said
did. He
Middle
said
Earth.
Middle Earth. Yeah.
Man,
Barufi, look. Middle Earth still stands tall for me, but as I've said probably
I'm
on the
just kidding.
podcast before as well, if Dune Messiah hits that quality of Dune and Dune 2, it might be my
Right.
new favorite thing, like genuinely. And so whenever you get the chance, I
And
like you have to.
I
These are
have to.
well,
must watch
what
move. Like this is what you watch movies
Yeah.
for. This type of thing.
I mean,
and
and
you
it's the
have to
type of shit
see
that I like
Dune
as well.
Messiah
Like,
in
I
theaters.
have to.
Yeah.
I know Anthony was saying this for Dune 2 because I when it was in theaters, he was like, "You have to see Dune 1 and you have to go see Dune 2 while it's in theaters." And I unfortunately missed out on that experience. I am 100% going to be at the premiere for Dune Messiah. And what I didn't get to say, because I was slowly getting to it, all that good stuff I had to say about Dune 2021, I think the Dune 2 is clearly better than Dune 1 or Dune 2021. Like, and it's not it's like it's not that Dune has like flaws. It's just that Dune 2 is even further in that exceptionality. They're both 5-star movies, but if I could, I would give Dune 2 6 stars. Like, it stands above every other 5-star movie I've seen, and it genuinely is the the best movie I've ever seen.
No, yeah. Part of the reason that for a lot of people in general, now there is a camp that actually loves Dune and hates Dune too, for a multitude of reasons or whatever. But part of the reason that it
Hmm.
works so well is because, and we talked about this last week, it is the payoff to the setup. Dune Part One is all about the setup of this story of these characters and everything. And there's great spectacle and stuff in there too, but at its core it's a setup. And then Dune 2 in this on this side is all of the payoff for that setup. And so in reality it feels in a way kind of like one cohesive film split into two parts, right? And that's how it is as a book, right? It's one book that's been split into two movies.
I do need to rewatch Dune 2 because I don't know if it like I clearly missed something, but the ending it rubbed me the wrong way.
Hmm.
And I still think Dune 2 is phenomenal, but I it rubbed me the wrong way, the way he kind of flaunts to the way that he flaunts that he's going to marry the emperor's daughter.
So there is obviously a lot of book explanation, and it might make more sense when you see Messiah. But basically, the whole thing about it is that he's taken the water of life and he's survived. So now, he's this prophetic god in a way, and he can see most. He says he can see all future, but it's really most or most of the stuff that he can control at least. So he sees
Right,
possible
because future
futures.
is infinite.
Yeah, he sees the possible futures, and so this is like his path that he thinks is the correct path to take. Now, the other thing about this though is that you probably noticed as you watched the film the similarities between Paul and Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. Very very similar characters, and it's essentially the hero's journey. That standard archetype for epic films like this. It's the hero's journey, but flipped on its head, where the charismatic and Frank Herbert, yeah, may you rest in peace. Frank Herbert said this about Paul as well. In a later interview after the books, the massive fame, and probably after the David Lynch film as well in 1984. But he said like this is a charismatic leader that turns bad. Like this is someone that had a potential for good and falls into whatever lays in store for us in Messiah. So I'm super excited. Denis Villeneuve is one of the best working directors and one of my favorites of all time in general. He just banger after banger after banger, and I'm so glad that we'll see what happens after Messiah, but he doesn't want to stick with the series. He wants Messiah to be the last one, at least that he does, and he's going to move on to other stuff. He wants to make a Cleopatra movie, which I think would be freaking awesome, and a couple other
Hmm.
things as well. But Cleopatra is definitely like his number one priority after Dune, which would be a lot of fun, I think.
Well, with his experience in the Dune Desert and like the cinematography and all that, he would nail Cleopatra.
Yeah, and early rumors as well are that he wants to cast Zendaya as Cleopatra, which would be really cool too.
There's also funny memes that I've seen about this. Like the Cerveza Cristal videos for Dune are fucking hilarious. But I also was like looking at reviews for Dune and Dune 2, and they were like, Paul is just like me. I also dream about looking at Zendaya.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
That shit's so
he's
funny.
got a wild harem there, right? Like Zendaya on one side and then Florence Pugh on the other side. Like, yeah,
Right.
pretty lucky guy.
He is the chosen one, said to bring balance to the Spice Wars.
Yeah, Anakin had Natalie Portman. I mean,
Hmm.
nobody's losing here.
True.
Yeah, but
All
It
right.
is a little telling that both Anakin and Paul both continuously express their love for their current partner, yet are gonna take actions to fuck said partnership
Yeah.
up.
But they're still doing it out of their love for their partner, right? That's another theme about it too.
Right.
Um, a greater good
In
mentality.
their eyes, they're doing what's right.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and one more quick movie thing for me before we move on to our main event here, because Final Destination Bloodlines is coming out in a couple months. I did watch the Final Destination franchise for the first time ever. Woo! Round of applause. Woo! Actually, very easy
They're a fun
watches.
watch.
They're pretty fun. I pretty much enjoyed my experience with every single one except for the Final Destination, or the fourth film in the franchise. Very clearly the black sheep and by far the worst one. Pretty repulsive. I'll never revisit that one. But the other ones, they all have little things that you want, like, that are very distinct about them, that are fun and cool. That I wouldn't mind revisiting, especially the third one. That one was my favorite.
When you watched Final Destination 5, did you know it was a prequel until the end?
I didn't. That
Or
was
before
a
the
that
end?
was an insane twist. I was like, man, like, because that one is definitely
Yeah.
weaker than two, even though I gave them the same
No, but the
rating.
twist is so
But
cool, so
that's
it
that's what I'm
works.
saying, right? I was gonna give it a half star less because I thought it was clearly worse than the second film. But then that twist happens. I'm like, okay, this is sick now. This is awesome. So I gave it that extra half star for the twist ending.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I drafted it when we're talking about horror franchises.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun franchise. It's not like nothing is stellar about it, but they're all like 3-star movies except for four. But no, Rufy, you gotta give Final Destination a shout.
I do. I
Sorry
do,
about
and
that.
I have to get on. Have to get on
Don't
Dune.
prioritize Final Destination over Dune or Star
No,
Wars. Let's
no,
make
I
that
know.
clear.
Uh, and honestly, if you're gonna watch one Final Destination movie, watch the third one.
Third one. Yeah.
That one was a lot of fun.
Um,
Really, really fun.
I hear you.
But yeah, shall we?
yes. Yeah.
So
We can talk about
today,
Death of a Unicorn on the next episode.
yeah, today, our main event, I kept it a surprise for the viewers until now. Ooh, is Will You Press the Button? We're going to be playing Will You Press the Button today. I
No
guess,
way.
even though I'm technically the host for this one, I guess I can input it as well. But really, it's between you two for the most part, I think. And if you're not familiar with Will You Press the Button, there's going to be a prompt where there's something that you get, an ability or whatever, but there's a catch to it, and you have to decide if you're going to press the button for that to happen or not press the button. And so we'll see, how we think about each one, and we'll skip shitty ones or whatever. But the really interesting ones should be a lot of fun to talk and possibly debate, and we'll see how our opinions align with the consensus as well as we go through them. So the first one here, really interesting. This was, again, did not prepare any specific ones for this. So this is straight from first opening the web page here. Will you press the button? You can solve the world's problems, but you will be assassinated.
Yes.
Well, that's stupid because
Okay.
Okay, but we have to define first. Let's define what. Let's first define what are the world's problems. I'm not asking us to go in an hour-long conversation on what the problems are, but the problems are chosen by me, or are they laid out in front of me?
Well, whatever encompasses world peace in your mind. So is ending hunger and ending war, and people love each other and whatever. Stuff like that. There no homelessness, right? Everybody is always,
It's
yeah. So like, what exactly to
it's
you
actually
is ending the problems?
yeah, but you know what? Even if I say yes, and this is not me bragging, okay, but I have the good in my heart to give my life for the good of the world. I genuinely do that. But here's my philosophical question to this, okay? Can I trust humans? Like, what if my life? What if I just died in vain?
That's a
Like,
fair
it's a
point.
serious question.
That's a fair
It's a
point.
very
It does
fair
not
point.
say
It's
it
a
does
very
not
fair
say
point.
it will stay that way. It does not say that. It just says you will solve the. So
It does
could
not.
very
It does
well-
not. Okay, I die, and then 10 years later we're back to the same issues. Then no, I want to keep my life.
Right. It's like
Unfortunately.
it's like the Thanos thing, right? Where if he snaps away half of the population, well, eventually you're just gonna have to snap away half the population again after the population recovers, right? Like you're never gonna solve that overpopulation problem.
So if a divine power is in front of me before I press this button, like if you sign here, I will, I would go through with the proceedings of this. That's a different story. But it's harder. It's a very hard question. A lot harder than it seems to be.
I mean, like, if you're dead, can you still solve said problems? And if we're saying yes, still no, because
Okay.
No, look, I am totally with Jacob here, and you posed a very great caveat, which helps that argument, Vitor, because if like I get the whole thing of sacrificing yourself for the good of the world, but at the
That's
same
not
time,
a problem here.
but it would also be nice to be able to reap those benefits too, right? Like how
Of course.
how good is it for you and your existence if you can't exist in that world too? And that is a very selfish notion, but I think
I
it's
love
very
my life. I have a family that loves me. I love my family. I have friends, like I know that I would be missed. Like I'm very fortunate to be able to say that. So if I'm going to leave that hole behind, like I want to make sure that it's for a good reason,
sure.
Because like put yourself, let's say you're my dad, Anthony, or my mom, whatever the case, right? Your son fucking kills himself for the good of the world, and then 5 years later, the world is the same shit. How would you feel? Like you would probably feel like shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that ultimately is, a big time caveat and point that you brought up that leads me to, again, I'm not pressing this button,
I'm probably not pressing.
There's the selfish aspect for me. I want to live as long as I can,
yeah,
right?
I'm selfish.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. And that's an unfortunate reality that a lot of people like, even yourself, right? You want to take that selfless act, but if it was actually presented to you, would you actually do it?
I would have to say, I want to press it. That's the thing. I want to press it, but I
Right.
have to have some conditions met. It's not a blind follow through.
So I guess I'm going to press I will not. It seems like we're
I will
all
not.
generally in consensus here. So let's see. Wow, very close. But 55% say that they would press the button versus 40%.
Bro, I
I
feel like
think-
half of them are not being honest.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm not sure
it's
if I'm
easy.
not sure if it's the honesty.
I
I think it's more so they didn't think about it. I don't think they thought about it.
There's that, but I don't know if it's dishonesty either, because I think like a lot of people are telling the truth when they say I want to be noble. I want to sacrifice myself for the greater good. But when it actually comes down to doing that thing, most people would fold. Most people would not do that because you want to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. It's not about dishonesty, but it's about like being real with yourself, I guess, having some self
Yeah.
actualization. Yeah. Okay. Interesting one.
Also, one thing we didn't bring up, but there was a big grammar error there. Assassinated. It said you will be assassinated.
Did it? I
Not
didn't even
assassinated.
notice.
Yep. I realized
hilarious.
last second. It said you will be assassinated.
That's really funny.
But anyways, and there
All
we go.
right. Will you press the button? You can lift, push, or pull objects 10 times your weight. But you have unremovable hair in your palms.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
No fucking shot. Absolutely not.
I'm just thinking about how
How am I?
uncomfortable that would
How am
be.
I supposed? How am I supposed to do my professional with hair in my palms? Absolutely not. I can't.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's a great point too. But even like I'm thinking about like other hairy primates that are, distant relatives of humans. They they have hair all over, much thicker than we do, obviously.
Yep.
But they don't even have hair on their palms. Like that is such a
It,
very
it would cause a bigger convenience than people think. It would cause a big inconvenience.
yeah. And lifting 10 times the weight would be cool, but
Okay,
I
but for
don't
what
know.
purpose?
yeah, exactly. And like if it's a lot easier for your hands to get sweaty because it's all wet nappy hair, like you might not have grip strength anymore, you know what I mean? Like
And
you
now
could
here's
lift
the
it, but then
question.
you
Now here's the
can't.
question.
You might drop it.
And here's the question that I pose you: how big is his hair? Does it grow? If it's tiny little bit of hairs and they don't grow, then maybe yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
But does it keep growing?
I have hair on my hands already, so
Sure,
it's
yeah,
Yeah, but then we're
but
talking
not
about
on
your
your
palms.
palm. Not on
okay.
your
But
palm.
also question. So in the event that you can lift, push, pull objects 10 times your body weight, does that mean that if you work out in the gym, are you even going to gain muscle mass? Because at that point, it just is effortless.
Yep.
It would be
There you
purely
go.
cosmetic, right? Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. 100%. Yeah, I think this is an easy I will not, and it sounds like you guys
Easy now.
agree as well.
Easy now.
Agreed.
All
Easy
right.
now.
Yep, and consensus is with us this time. 36% would press it versus 64 that would not. Alright.
That 36 is way too high. These people were blind by thinking they were gonna be Superman or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you could probably make money off of this.
Yeah,
You
supply
probably
Yeah,
profit.
and
good luck
You
competition,
using the
profit.
money to remove the hair. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just remove your hands.
Yeah.
All right. Will you press the button? You can teleport to any cartoon world you want, but when you teleport, a random person will die.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's gonna die? Do I choose
a
who
random
dies?
person. It's random.
I'm pressing the
Okay.
button.
It could
But
be
do
you.
I make a group of people? Do I make
don't
a
think-
group
I'm-
of people?
I don't think so. I think it's just a random person.
I'm not
It's-
pressing this.
it's
I'm not
one of the
pressing.
8
I'm being
billion
super
people.
lame. I'm being super lame about this, guys. But I'm not pressing. Like I just have no interest in it.
No, I'm pressing the button.
I hope you die when you press that button.
That would
It's
be
a 1 in
astronomically
7.8 billion
low.
chance.
We're
Yeah.
over 8 now, actually, in the population meter.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. Probably
Yeah,
closer
we
to
need
8.1
Thanos.
at this point, yeah.
I'm kidding.
But yeah.
No, but seriously, I'm not pressing this.
Now, here's the thing, right? Like, what benefit outside of fun do you get for teleporting
That's
to a
exactly my
cartoon world,
purpose.
right?
And you're killing someone for entertainment.
And
I
there's
can't
the
do
thing
it.
too, right?
Dude, you
Like,
can record content.
Jacob, please.
yeah, you could start a
Dude.
blog.
I hope that you end up for some reason you end up choosing to go to content warning and you never leave.
That's not a
I hope
cartoon.
you stay in content warning.
Yeah,
Well, it's very
what if-
cartoonish.
Yeah, what if you die in the cartoon world? You know, like you go
Then
into
you die.
the Minecraft movie,
Dude,
and then you
wait.
take too
If
much
we're
fall
counting
damage.
cartoon, if we're counting content warning, then I could go into Disgaea and see all them anime titties, bro. Hell yeah.
This guy's not real. This guy's not a real human being.
My counter there is that you could see titties right now in real life.
Right now.
But I could feel them in the world. In the you see, yeah,
Yeah, that
pixels, man.
Listen. Yeah.
I want to press a button, but I'm not pressing this one. Like I'm
Yeah.
being
Dude,
lame.
I could go hang out with Eric Cartman.
Now here's something though, right? A random person dies, right? And the odds would be astronomically low that you even know this person in general or have ever walked past them on the street. Now that could happen, right? But if you did this teleportation like every day, you would still
What if
like,
Charlie
not
died?
even- Who's Charlie? Charles.
You mean
White.
Charlie.
voice critical?
Yeah, most critical. Like you'll be pretty
No,
upset
okay,
about that now.
there are there are 3 people, okay, that I would be devastated if I was the result of their death.
Your dad,
My dad,
Yeah.
Charlie,
Charlie,
and let me get the third one. Hold on, don't say it. Bobby Witt.
Oh, great. That was awesome. Fantastic work.
bro had the 3. He read my mind.
Yeah. So, but my question is, right? Like, if you did this every day, if you teleported, 10,000 days is a little over 27 years of life.
Dude, look
like,
how many people you're killing, bro.
But you would live an entire lifetime as a mass murderer, yes, but you would only kill like a small city of people. Like,
Only a small city. I only killed a small city of people.
I would 100% press this button if it was a guarantee the person dying was from.
wow.
Okay, now
Wow.
if the guarantee of this is that a pedophile dies,
That's a good point, right? You Think about how many bad people are out there in the world, and hell is just waiting for them.
If you guarantee me that one of these shit human beings die, then I'm using it for the good. I don't even
Right.
care to what world I go.
Well, then there's no sacrifice, right? You're just like, fuck it, I get to have fun, and the pedophile down the street stops touching me. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Touching
Yeah.
me is crazy.
No, yeah. I'm not gonna press
No,
it
absolutely
either.
not.
I if I can prevent.
I'm not pressing this one.
Around 3 billion of the population in the world is over the age of 50. So
Yeah. Look. You might be. You might
Hey,
be just.
any reason you can find to cope, okay?
bro, I just want to see Eric Carmen. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Well, so anytime that I
No,
can
wait.
directly.
You guys are not considering the possibilities here. Danny Phantom. You can go in and get that certified baddie, bro.
Okay, listen, I don't care. Now if I were to teleport to a cartoon world, I think my first option would probably be
Bikini Bottom.
I'm thinking SpongeBob, yeah. I'm genuinely thinking SpongeBob, yeah.
Bro, go link up with Sandy Cheeks.
Oh.
Get your mind out the gutter, Jacob. Get it out the gutter.
No, I think me and Squidward would be buds, or Patrick.
You are Squidward, objectively.
I'm Squidward.
Yeah, he appreciates art.
Okay, well, I'm not
Squidward is
pressing
my
the
favorite
button.
character.
I agree with Barufi here, and in large part, it's if I can directly prevent death in this fashion, I'm going to do that, even if it's a random person, you know. So I will not. Wow.
Also, another thing that we didn't talk about. That's very high. Wow, that's very high.
57%
Another
wood
thing
press.
we didn't talk about. How do these people die? Do they just drop dead or do they explode? That's something
They
to consider.
Thanos. They Thanos
Yeah,
snap.
they turn into dust.
Okay, sure.
Explosion would be crazy because then you could get like collateral damage. You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah,
real
exactly, that's what I
No,
was
you know what would
thinking
be so cool?
That's what I was thinking about, yeah.
You travel to a cartoon
Dude,
world and you kill a
wait,
pilot in
Wait,
mid-flight.
whoa. Stop. Stop. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was just going to say that.
Wait, what?
What if we kill a pilot in the middle of a fight?
Oh god. Yeah, this has crazy potential. I'm glad I.
Dude, wait. I was gonna say it'd be kind of crazy if they die by lightning strike.
Yeah,
Like God is shunning them.
the Bermuda Triangle
That's crazy.
returns, and it's just. It's
Dude.
just
We need to start guessing what the percentages are gonna be.
okay.
Yeah, let's try that.
We can try that.
All right, let's
All right.
move on to the next one and we can try that.
All right. Will you press the button? You have gained superpowers, whatever that means, but that give you the ability to tell time.
Give you the ability to tell
So
time.
that's your only superpower is you can tell time. I can tell time already.
What?
Does that mean I've got a superpower already? I mean, I guess there's no downside, right? Like, there's no reason not to.
You have gained superpowers. I think there's a hidden message here. I think it's got to be a hidden
okay,
message.
so
I think the
what
person
they're
who made
saying-
this is just stupid.
No, I think what they're saying is like you don't need to look at a clock to know the time. You can know the precise time just by thinking about it or whatever. Like,
Right.
it's just an innate thing like breathing, fine dining and breathing, and telling time. So maybe that's what it is, and that's pretty cool. And again, like there's no downside here. If I could just tell time willy nilly.
Right,
Like,
you're pressing the
okay,
button.
Cool. Yeah. I don't see. There's no reason not
I'll
to.
press, and I think 90%. I think 90% said yes.
I'm gonna say 94.
You know what I think? I think this is going to be a bit of a twist here. I think the majority actually didn't press the button because they think that this is a lame superpower.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 60% didn't press. Let's see. Okay, well, it wasn't 90%.
73.
All
yeah,
right, so-
I guess that was the closest, right?
Yeah, you were. 73% would press, which makes a lot of sense. But to the 27% of you out there, what are you thinking? It makes no goddamn sense. There's
Yeah,
no
why
downside.
are you not pressing the button?
All right.
All right, next one.
Will you press the button? You have the powers of Superman, but you can never have children or be loved.
Wait, so you have the powers of Superman, but nobody can love you. That
Yeah.
likely means you're a super villain.
You're gonna
Super
turn into a villain
incel.
eventually.
Super-
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, like
You're
no,
Superman with the
absolutely
fedora
not.
on.
Absolutely,
That's your new look.
absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a really tough
Yeah,
one.
no, we're not pressing the button.
I'm totally happy being ordinary and having children later on. Although you could adopt people if you wanted to. You know, there's nothing against adoption if you're
Yeah,
Superman.
but you can't be loved. So they're gonna perish if they start loving you. Like, yeah.
Fair enough. All right, we will not press this button. 33% would press.
I'm
versus
happy. I'm happy to
67%.
say that, and I forgot to say it, but I was thinking something in that
Yeah.
range.
Yeah, 67% agree with us, which makes sense. I think the capacity to love is very, like, fundamental thing for
Shohei
humans.
Ohtani walk-off home run.
God, fuck the Dodgers. Was that Walton
Yup.
Goggins? Did you see that? Was that Walton Goggins in the corner there just a second ago? He's gotten really big recently. Like a ton of media.
Dude, this fucking Dodgers team makes no sense, bro.
Will you press the button? You will become an animal you want for one day. But after you become human again, you will not remember that day.
Okay, so now here's the problem, right?
It's a waste
don't
of a day for me.
Like some questions to come to my mind. Okay, first question is, I don't know which animal I would choose, but let's say I choose to be an eagle, right? I'll either want to be something that flies or something in the ocean. But in the ocean, I don't know how the fuck I would get back. So I'll probably go back. I'll probably stick with the flying, right? So probably an eagle or something. If I fly too far away and I can't get back, let's say for some reason I get lost, I just die. I'm just dead once I become human again, right? But my second point, and that's probably the most important one to me, say everything goes well as it should be. Okay, I fly around, I come back, whatever. When I become human again, I will not remember it. Cool. But am I gonna get a small sensation that something happened to me and
Like
I'm missing
deja
it?
vu.
Because if that happens, I might go insane.
So I have a few things. I have a few questions. Is it like when you wake up, or is it like clock strikes midnight? Because if I'm in my bed and I just become an elephant, my apartment's fucked.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
No, I was gonna ask the same thing because it's like it says you spend one day. So does that mean 24 hours? And so midnight to midnight, or is it you wake up and then when you go to sleep, right? Like, how does that work? And obviously, like, does our cognitive function remain? So like if you're an elephant in an apartment, like you're just going to be panicking, whatever, like you can't even think about it. And same thing if you're an eagle, like, and what you said, like you could fly away and then you get lost and die when you're a human. Imagine though, like if it was like a midnight to midnight and you were just flying in the middle of the night, time changes and you're in the air, you just fall to your death.
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
exactly,
lot of
yeah.
hijinks, right? Or even like a beluga whale or something in the deep blue sea, and you drown because you can't swim back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a
exactly,
beluga
How do
whale
you
in
come up-
Kansas.
How do you come back up? Yeah.
Yeah, beluga whale in Kansas, the landlocked state. That yeah, there's a lot of like not cool stuff here. And even then, if you have a positive experience about it or something that you like, what is the point? Because you're just not going to remember it. You know what I mean? Like Jacob said, a waste of a day. There's no point in doing this. So I will.
Yeah, I'm probably
press
not
the
doing
button.
it. Yeah, me either.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
68%
a lot of furries, huh?
in favor. You know, that's a great point, actually.
58,
Yeah,
58.
that might, oh, 58?
A lot of furries, yeah.
58%, yeah. That might be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure it is.
58% would press and 42%. We're in the minority there. Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
All
A lot
right.
of people don't think these through as well as we do.
I guess so, yeah.
Also, yeah, that's true. They just go through it. Also, we're not predicting the percentages.
Oh, one other
So,
point real
I don't know
quick
if you
that I
wanna
wanted
do-
to make about it is that you're also
Yeah.
like, if you choose the wrong animal, you'd be incredibly vulnerable. So like if you were the eagle and then I was a little chipmunk,
Exactly.
you could pick me up and kill me.
Yeah, I murdered you, and I don't even know. Like,
Exactly. Everyone's like, "Oh, what happened to Anthony?" Like, there's no body. There's nothing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that. Yeah, really, really. Yeah. What a shit. What a shit thing to press. God. All right.
Dude, like, I feel super lame, but some of these just have no purpose. Like, read this next one for us, please.
Will you press the button? You restore a nation of your choice back to its greatest period in history, but you must live in another nation, and everyone will hate you for what you have done. There's no point in this. Again, like, what?
Yeah, like,
Like, what even? Okay, what is your answer? What are your guys' answers for the greatest nation in the greatest period of history?
I don't know. I don't
The
know
Third
enough
Reich.
history. I don't know enough
No,
history
that's
for
not
that.
true. Give me an actual answer. Like, because
I'd bring the Byzantine Empire back to its prominence.
that was where I was going to go. I was going to say the Roman Republic. That might be where I would go, right? But then you would be a part of like you would be in Carthage or something before it gets taken over in North Africa, and everybody hates you in Carthage. Like, that might suck, you know what I mean? Yeah,
It's funny that we're considering this one, but we didn't consider saving the world. We're just like, dude, but the Byzantine Empire?
we considered saving the world. We talked about that. We were just selfish about it.
Yeah.
And there's a layer of selfishness here too, you know. But like, that's the thing.
Rufy, on YouTube, there's the Byzantine Empire explained in 13 minutes. Watch that whenever you have like free time, or you can watch the extra history videos on it of Justinian and Theodora, which is Byzantine Empire. They're really fun stories.
Mm-hmm.
That whole era
I hear you.
of even the Greek Empire and in Athens before the Roman Republic, all the way up to the fall of Constantinople in 1453, like that, everything there is really interesting to learn about. All right.
It is.
But I'm not pressing the button because I don't know.
Me
I like
neither.
my
No,
public
we're not
image,
pressing the button.
and also it's kind of lame. I don't know.
I like watching movies, and I don't want to live in a third world country.
28% would press versus the 72% that are on our side and would say that we would not. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This next one, we
lot of
will
sense.
predict the percentages again.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because we keep forgetting.
Will you press the button? You can prepare any meal you want in 1 minute as long as you have the ingredients, but you must steal your ingredients, and you are banned from every grocery store worldwide.
You're Ratatouille, bro. You're Ratatouille.
There is, again, no point in this.
This is easy. This is easy to work around it, though. I just have someone get the groceries for me.
Yeah, I guess that's
I don't have
true.
to get
You
the
steal
groceries
it from
myself.
them?
Yeah, you don't have to go grocery shopping, or you can start your own garden, right?
That, I don't.
You just steal it
True.
from
I mean,
yourself.
honestly, this is kind of worth it. If we're thinking about caveats, this is kind of worth it because,
Yeah.
like,
But
I
think we're changing the mechanics of this. I don't think we can do that.
Why?
You must steal your ingredients.
But it's
okay,
but
so
that's,
you have your
that's
girlfriend
just us. Yeah.
get a garden started.
Yeah, I think there's a loophole in its vagueness here where that could be a thing. We just
Yeah.
never go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And
And
now,
listen, I would become the world's most efficient chef. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
yeah,
Dude, you could have a restaurant.
yeah, we could
Based
become the
on
next
only
Gordon
stolen
Ramsay.
ingredients.
I'm doing it.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I'm pressing this button.
Wait. Percentages. I'm gonna say that
70 said yes.
I'm gonna say like 45 said yes.
I'm gonna say 35
Really?
said yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, well, what's the
so we have a
fuck's the
clear
point?
distinction here. Okay.
I have to be a hunter gatherer now. Like, that's how a lot of people I think would take it. Let's see. Wow.
Wow.
19%
Wow.
of people would press the button versus 81% said that would not. That is our biggest margin.
But I
yet.
promise you, if we spoke to those 81, I imagine 40 would convert.
Okay, guys, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could pressing this button, you don't have to cook a single meal for the rest of your life, but every meal that you go to cook is on a mobile game timer. Like, so like for example, you want spaghetti and meatballs, you have to wait an hour and a half and then it'll just appear. But it's on a mobile game timer.
Well, then I just plan ahead, right? Like I would not mind that at all. That's fine. I'll just plan ahead every time. I don't no cooking, no cleanup. It just appears. Holographic meatloaf, man.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it.
But
Also,
then you have to like
underrated
get
joke, by
harvest
the way.
resources from your life.
Oh, well, that's different, I guess, right? I don't know. I still like.
Right.
I guess that's still cool. Yeah, you just have to plan ahead. Each meal though would take more time or different times, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could say that each meal takes 3 times as long on the Clash of Clans timer than it would if you made it like actually.
Well, that sucks. I only have 5 builders.
Yeah, 2 times a long time.
I might not be eating for a couple days if I choose the wrong upgrades. That oh, what was I gonna say though? Oh yeah, the joke about holographic meatloaf that's a very underrated joke because of plankton, and they
Yeah,
get a
because
lot of their
plankton
energy
live off of
from the
sunlight.
yeah, from light, exactly. So anyway, we've mentioned SpongeBob like 5 times in this episode so far.
It's a good episode.
Yeah. All right, we'll do a couple
Yeah.
more here. Will you press the button? You are a highly respected meth cook who has just earned $80 million. But your brother-in-law is a DEA agent. A bunch of people want to kill you, and you end up in a shack by yourself in New Hampshire.
Guys, guys, did they just take this from Suits?
No, you
This
might
is
be right,
Breaking Bad.
actually. Yeah, that's the joke. The
Oh,
joke is he got the
guys,
show
I'm
wrong.
falling asleep. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Um,
So you're just Walter White. That's what you are.
yeah, I'm sticking with the joke here, and I'm pressing the button. I'm obviously not pressing the button, but I'm pressing the button.
I
Yeah.
liked it. I was good at it.
It was
Yeah.
funny, so I'm pressing it.
Yeah, we were very good at it.
In real life,
We had a good run.
in real life, I'm
Wait,
obviously
wait,
not
wait, wait,
pressing
wait. I'm gonna say 65% said yes.
Yeah, 75. I'll go a little higher.
I think the majority said no again because I think a lot of people when they think about Breaking Bad and Walter White, they like you're dying in 2 days once you get up to New Hampshire. You know what I mean? Like your life is over.
Yeah.
And even if you take a different route than what Walter did at the end of that show, you still have cancer. So like you're going either way very
Oh,
soon.
true.
So I think actually.
But that's
they're-
not in the button.
But yeah, that's correct. But I mean,
But we're predicting the percentages, right?
yeah, and I think that's how a lot of people might think. So, but then the $80 million too, right? Like that's generational wealth. So I could really see it either way. I'm gonna say slight
Yeah,
edge.
and in this you keep the 80 million. It doesn't, and you don't lose
That's
the 80
true.
million.
It doesn't. It doesn't specify that. So, I will still okay. I'm gonna say slight edge positive now that because of that. So a slight edge, 55% would press. All right, my
Oh, shit.
initial instinct was
Wow.
right. Yeah, 31% of people would press the button versus 69% of people that would not.
Nice.
And again, that
Dude, if we could
that
make
makes
this
sense
like
to
a
me.
Minecraft shack where like there's a massive underground base underneath it.
Yeah, we'll be living on golden apples.
Might be worth it. Yeah, Batman.
2 more. We'll do 2 more. 2 more good ones. All right. Will
Yes.
you press the button? One
I'm
person.
pressing the button.
One person that you hate dies, but you get diarrhea for a month.
Absolutely.
Dude, who do
Now,
I pick?
No-
Justin
no
Fields,
questions
Jared
asked.
Goff?
I would be worried, honestly, about the diarrhea. Like how much that would take out of you. Like
Yeah,
you
how
would be
bad-
very
how bad diarrhea?
dehydrated after the diarrhea for an entire month. Like you might die of dehydration. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, how much fluids you would have to consume every day to keep up with the diarrhea. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. How intense is it? Right? Is it just diarrhea every time you would normally take a shit, or is it like the runs type of thing where you have to take a shit every
Yeah.
hour, or you know? That's a tough one.
Yeah, but
Difficult
it's
month.
something I'm willing to do for someone I hate. So I'm pressing it.
Dude,
And
John
by the way, keep in
Jones.
mind, I am not a hateful person. I don't hate a lot of people, but the people that I hate. So I'm pressing yes.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's fair.
wait, I could stop Ovechkin from hitting the goal.
What?
Do you
What?
hate Alexander Ovechkin?
Dude, I'm a Penguins fan. Of course I hate Ovechkin. It's kind of part of the
It's the whole point.
responsibility.
Yeah, it's the whole point.
That's hilarious. So, are we pressing
Well,
or
if
are
it
we
makes you happier,
not?
I'm
yeah, I'll
pressing it.
press it.
I
Yeah.
haven't decided who I'm killing yet. I'm probably killing, but
Whoa! God! Jesus, oh man, I'm probably cutting that out. I'm sorry.
oh,
That
no,
is
you're good.
really
That's heavy. That's
that's
definitely heavy.
heavy. All right. So we're pressing the button. 45% would press versus 55 that would not. So very split here, very close. And again, the 55% makes a lot of sense
But
to me.
it's also one of the things that I say it now because we're having shits and giggles. But if it's in front of me, I probably couldn't do it.
Right. Like, could
I
you
probably
actually
couldn't do it.
kill
Bronny
somebody
James
else?
is cooked.
I probably couldn't be. I could probably wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, that's something for me
Come
too.
on, bro.
There were a lot
Dude, the
of
Oakland A's announcer
oh
cooked.
god, somebody probably hates me enough to do it. For being real,
Shit, I am. That's why I pressed
True.
it.
will you press the button? All the people of every nation, race, and belief will unite and create a near harmony. No conflict between nations, but misery will still be there, such as diseases, pollution, etc. But the internet will be removed forever.
So, as someone who doesn't live in a third world country, I'm not pressing it.
Wow. You don't think the third world countries
Uh,
have internet at this point?
No, I'm just saying my life isn't horrible enough to where I care enough about unity. I would much rather still be able to watch my YouTube videos and my Netflix and Hulu. That's more valuable to me than world peace,
No conflicts between nations, but misery will still be there.
such as disease.
That's part of
Does
my
it
COVID
solve
hang up.
20.
anything?
Yeah, that's part of my hang
Does
up
it
too,
solve
right?
anything
Like
then?
we wouldn't have any more wars and we'd like maybe advance quicker as a civilization, but there could still be that thing that just wipes us out in anyway.
Regardless if we want it or not, the internet is such a massive thing of everything today. Like,
Now, at the same time, one could argue that the internet has also advanced our level of animosity towards each other. And so part of the reason that so much conflict exists today is because of the internet too, right?
no, I hear you, but I'm not sure if it solves anything. That's what I'm saying.
Well, there wouldn't be any
I
more
mean, I think the
wars,
internet is a
right?
net negative on people's mental life as far as like social interaction, but
I see.
YouTube.
I think maybe, like as an immediate reaction, sure. But if you like if everybody
I'm probably
detox from
pressing it.
this, I think it would.
You're pressing it?
I mean, if I'm standing in front of a button like this, like just I put myself in the person in front of a button like this, right? With all the war in Ukraine right now, with all the war in between Pakistan and Israel, and like imagine telling those people in that situation that someone had the chance to end their suffering and they didn't because of internet. Like how do you think they would feel? You know?
Okay, but let's add a twist to this. Then this button is live broadcasted if you press no, but if you press yet, like if you actually do press the button, nobody knows that you pressed it.
I don't care. That's not the point.
Yeah, me neither.
No, that changes it. That
Why?
because if everyone knows that you didn't press the button, they're gonna hate you. But
I
if nobody knows, then you don't get any
it's
credit
not
for
about other people
unity.
knowing it or not. It's about my self conscious. And I'm probably pressing it.
My thing is that there's still a lot of entertainment that does not require the internet. Movies and radio and sports
I
and all
wasn't
that
speaking
stuff.
of and I wasn't speaking of entertainment.
Well, but what
Entertainment.
what do
I'm
we
speaking
want?
about
What do we
the
use
work
the internet
function.
for, though? You know what I mean?
No,
Like
we
people,
yes, I know.
most people use it for entertainment. I mean that is the functionality of it at this point. It's become a post-industrial type of invention where we use it in pastime, for the most part, again. And like, we're not so far removed now. It feels like we're very removed, but we're not that far removed as a society, as a world, generally speaking, from no internet, right? The internet's only like 45 years old or whatever at this point. So again, there would be a big adjustment and a lot of people would probably suffer immediately. But I mean, again, there's the no wars aspect of it. We would have a world government, and we might have that.
It's too big for me, man.
And that might lead to other technological advancements that we don't have, right? Because everyone's going to be cooperating with each other. Better opportunities to prevent those diseases or to get rid of pollution, right? When everyone's on the same page. So in a way, it feels like with less conflict, you could solve the other problems that would still exist, quote unquote, and just at the price of not having the internet. It's not like this is the one earlier where you get assassinated or assassinated, right? So I would be pressing this button, actually, as difficult as not having the internet would be. It would suck, but we would adjust.
You can't make me press the button.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think the majority of people. Ooh, I think this is going to be really tight.
I'm gonna say 55% press it.
It's definitely majority. No.
I think it's going to be 50-50. Like, that close. All right. It wasn't 50-50, but it was pretty generally close. 42% of people would press the button versus 58% of people that would not press the button. Yeah, I mean...
Wait, look at the top comment.
Just reinvent the internet with a different name. Technically speaking, it's not the internet anymore. Oh, that's funny. People would, or I would, create a new internet. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like, how technical is this forever thing? Like, you couldn't directly reinvent it this way. But if you did give it a new name, is that still the internet, right? I guess that's an interesting thought tree there.
Dude, we have to call the internet the meta now.
Yeah, the metaverse.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is pushing this button 10 times out of 10. Well, that was Will You Press the Button? That was fun. That was a fun little exercise. Maybe we bring this back in the future at some point. But yeah, how do we feel about that, guys?
Great game.
It was great.
10
It was
out
fun.
of 10.
It was definitely fun, yeah.
All right.
This has to
Fantastic
be the
stuff.
next
It
episode we
creates room
upload.
for conversation, right? For some philosophical conundrums.
Absolutely. And some of them were
Right,
really
it's not
fun as
just,
well, right?
Yeah, it's not just mindless pressing button. Yes, no, I want powers, yada yada.
I have one for you, Anthony. When you press the button, we stopped the production of Star Wars movies with Disney. Like, Disney never acquired Star Wars.
Okay, so we're going back in time.
Yeah, but Dune Messiah never comes out.
I wouldn't press the button. There's no point. I actually like some of Disney Star Wars stuff that's come out, so it's not that big of a deal, honestly. And I need Dune Messiah in my life. So, yeah, I'm not pressing that
Valid.
button. Vitor, how about you give us our coastal call this week?
Coastal call. Everyone. I was sleepy as shit towards the end here. Okay, but I thought it was a phenomenal episode. We have some technical difficulties. Seamless, I would say.
It will be
Thanks to the
seamless.
editing of our wonderful producer, Anthony.
It will be, yeah.
Gosh.
Listen, I take no part in that, unfortunately. But we have graphics guy. Look at graphics guy. Look at him. Ah, what a beautiful graphics guy. And we had plenty of fun. Did we do this before or no?
I don't think we've done this on the show.
No.
I've definitely,
This
obviously,
is our first
played,
time.
I've played it before.
No, it was my very first time. It was my very
Okay.
first time. I had lots of fun. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Thanks.
Yeah,
everyone,
if
for
you've
tuning
made it
in.
this far, be sure to comment beautiful graphics guy.
Beautiful graphics guy. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Comment beautiful graphics guy. Okay. And be sure to check us out the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peace.